Luke Belmar challenged me to 369 days of his daily routine to see what it truly feels to live like a crypto millionaire. In this video, I share how days 150 to 181. Now, what is the Luke Belmar routine? The Luke Belmar routine consists of a 15-minute morning walk with no phone, 15 minutes of stretching, a drink mixture of chlorophyll, spring water, salt, and lime, 1 hour of working out, and 100 pages of reading. If you haven't already been following along, you can check out the last 150 days of the Luke Belmar routine on my channel. The last few months on this routine were challenging. I was slowly losing momentum, and even Luke Belmar had some things to say about it. More on that later. Near day 150, I had a complete shift in mindset that got me completely back on the routine. Luckily, I captured that exact moment where everything changed. So I'm walking back home. It's about 1 in the morning, but I've been slacking on the routine. I'm just gonna be super straight up and honest. I've been slacking on the routine and I'm on a mission now to get back on it. It's day 150 tomorrow. I've been giving myself excuses of not running because it's snowing, but getting outside the house, you see other people running and it's like, there's no excuse for it. I'm officially back on it, back full force. Let's do it. After getting back on the routine again, I started gaining momentum and everything started to go amazing. I was back on the daily exercise, reading, and stretching. So let me catch you up on how everything went from days 150 to 180 on the Luke Belmar routine. After getting back on the routine again, I started gaining momentum and everything started to go amazing. I was back to daily exercise, reading, and stretching. So the first week back, days 150 to 157 are completely finished now, officially, which is so exciting. I ended up finishing Fake by Robert Kiyosaki and started on the Elon Musk autobiography, which I'm already getting really well into. So I'm super excited about that. I've been stretching a ton and I've been breaking up my exercises. So sometimes I can have breaks where I go late in the evening for a run and then I wake up in the morning and go for a run, and then for the rest of the day that day, and then the next day up until the evening, all that time I have break. So it's almost like a 2-day break, but I'm still exercising every single day. This first week has been just like such a grind because I need to get back into the flow and the rhythm of it. I've been having almost like less time because everything's taking up so much time and my reading's just starting to get into the flow. This week, from all the runs that I did, I've listened to about 3 or 4 podcasts, which is incredible. And I listened to one today from Luke Belmar, which was incredibly insightful.
You're a bot, you're coded.
Now it's on to week 2. Now that the first week back was over and I got the hang of the routine again, it took me into week 2. The second week on the routine flew by and I got through some amazing reading. Week 2 is finally complete. It's been an incredible last few days. I've hit such a strong momentum with everything, from reading to working out to having a morning routine dialed in. I've been feeling amazing, on a roll. The momentum is just carrying me through everything. I've been so productive with work. This week I finished an Elon Musk biography written by Walter Isaacson, which was so good. One of my friends put me onto it, and it is just such a great read. You learn so much. And some of the best speakers, entrepreneurs of our time right now, they read tons and they talk about reading tons of biographies and autobiographies, like Tony Robbins. He just says he reads, and in the past when he was reading a ton, he mentioned on a podcast, he read like 700 books in 7 years, which is a ton. And he read a ton of biographies and autobiographies, and he attributes a lot of the wisdom that he now has from books like that. So yeah, it's just so fascinating. If you're interested in what Elon Musk is doing with Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, Optimus, Dojo, all these different companies that he's operating, how he gets them off the ground so quick, how he's fast to operate, it's just so inspiring. And you get to see his life and what he's up to, and you get to see the bigger picture of like where we're all heading. That was a really, really interesting book. and I highly recommend for anyone to read it. So the gym's been going great. I've been reading. My body has been transforming so much, like so much more muscular, lean, defined, and I've been having no injuries or anything. I've just been taking care of my body, massaging any parts that are sore. Yeah, next up I'm reading YouTube Growth, and then another book called The Money Plot, and then The Creature from Jekyll Island. So there's so many great books that are coming up. Now it's just time to get into week 3. Finishing up the Elon biography and feeling full of wisdom and inspiration, it took me into week 3. Now that I was fully back into the game and gaining so much momentum, I used it to gain much more productivity and ended up completing so much work and creating tons of new videos, all while reading, working out, and completing the rest of the routine. Alrighty, so week 3 is officially finished. This has been a really game changer of a week. I've hit this like crazy momentum. I finished another book, which was a YouTube growth book. I finished like a journal magazine that I just kind of like wanted to read, so I just picked a day and just read that. And now I'm starting on The Psychology of Money for reading, which is like, I've read about 30 books in the last couple of months, over 30 books. And this is like by far my favorite, and I haven't even finished the book yet. It just shows you how good this book is, and it has a ton of really great reviews, and I see so many parallels to what people like Belmar are talking about and like where they get their concepts from, because once you start reading a ton of these books, you see that that a ton of the biggest like creators and entrepreneurs, they get their knowledge and their mission and their intelligence from reading these books and absorbing all the information from the top thinkers and the top entrepreneurs. And it's just really fascinating to see. Another thing, I've been going to CrossFit, I've been working out and running, and my body has just been feeling so good. I've been feeling so productive and energized every single day. And not to mention, I edited like 6 videos this week. I edited 6 videos, I posted a bunch of things on Instagram, and I did so much work. I literally did not think something like this would be possible, but I'm literally hitting strides of productivity and focus that I've like never felt before. And I feel so much happier being in control of my routine and actually doing the things that I'm set out to do every single day and completing it, even though it's a lot. Reading and exercising and doing work and taking care of other responsibilities, it's a lot of work. And sometimes I don't get done with everything until like 11, 12 at night. But I just feel so good doing all those things, and it makes me so happy, like just genuinely happy. That's, I think, the biggest thing that's been kind of like coming on to me is just like more happiness because of the control that I feel. After finishing up this busy week, I made sure to take some time to relax while studying on the routine and making my way into week 4.
I've had this vision.
As I got into week 4, something pretty unexpected happened. This morning, I woke up and I did all my morning things, and I checked my phone, and as I usually do, I check my YouTube comments, and there was one like less than an hour ago from Belmar. He saw how I had a little bit of trouble on like my last few months of the routine, and I didn't fully complete like a few of the weeks, and so Luke called me out a little bit, and he was like, you know, those don't count. You gotta like make up for the time that you missed and start with these books. Yeah, it is what it is, but he told me to start off by reading The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, and also The Millionaire Master Plan by Roger Hamilton. So I don't have the other Science of Getting Rich book now, but I have this one. So I'm gonna start on it again, even though I've read it before, and see how it goes. But yeah, I guess it's gonna be like an extra month on the routine, which is cool. It's just gonna make it my identity now. Like, not even, it kind of it's kind of what I touched on in the last video where I was talking about how you need to forget the days, but this goes even a step further to make it part of your identity, where this just becomes your normal life. And so that's what I'm going to be shooting for, which is going to be crazy. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Alrighty, so it is the end of week 4. This is officially days 150 to 180 complete. I feel pretty good. My momentum has continued on, but it's been a little bit more challenging to continue with everything, especially now since I feel my body getting a lot more tired after all the exercise. So I've been needing to do more stretching and like more resting and more naps throughout the day. Through getting back on this routine fully, I've just felt like this spark of like amazement of life and enjoyment, and yeah, it's been super great. I finished a bunch of books this week. It kind of went all over the place. I finished a YouTube growth book, and then I finished The Psychology of Money, and I started reading The Creature of Jekyll Island, and then Luke Belmar commented on my video and he told me to read Millionaire Master Plan and The Science of Getting Rich, which I had already read before. So I just kind of took those again, just kind of reread them and jogged my mind a little bit, which really helped. The Millionaire Master Plan was a really great one to read. But now I'm back on reading The Creature of Jekyll Island. It's a tough book to read. It's kind of like The Lords of Easy Money a couple months ago that I was reading, that it was just so dense with all this jargon that I'm not really 100% certain with, so I'm kind of taking my time going through it so I really understand. But the book is incredibly eye-opening, probably the best explanation of the Federal Reserve and how it was created out of any of the books that I've read. I've been exercising. I hit 2 PRs this week at the gym. So I hit a 315-pound deadlift, which is 3 plates, and then I hit a 260-pound back squat. So my weights have been going up, and I've just been doing it very carefully as to not injure myself, and everything else has been going super great. So wrapping up days 150 to 180, let's touch on the results from the last month. The first of the 3 pillars is reading. As I got back into the routine, I started off with some books that have been on my shelf for the last few weeks. I finished off some fascinating reads on finance, YouTube, psychology, and a super fascinating biography on Elon Musk. Luke Belmar reiterated reading The Millionaire Master Plan and The Science of Getting Rich, so I reread those ones as well. All in all, I ended up finishing nearly 7 books, giving me so much new insight and knowledge. Moving on to the second pillar, fitness. I got back into the daily workouts and I started seeing a ton of improvement again with increased flexibility, strength, and endurance. I got back to having unbroken 1-hour runs and I felt great doing it. At the gym, I prioritized staying within my limits and focusing on technique and safety rather than pushing my weight in order to stay without any injuries. During this month, I even had others join me along the way. The last pillar is mindset, and this one felt like a huge shift. As I got back into the routine, I started feeling way more productive, fulfilled, happy, and successful. I started seeing my productivity go through the roof as I had some of the most productive days I've ever seen. And near the end of the month, Luke wrote something to me that fundamentally changed the way I see this routine. Luke wrote, "Become a new person and your routine will turn into a lifestyle." This signifying that in order to change your actions, you need to first change yourself, and that means saying goodbye to the old identity that you created for yourself and embracing a completely new identity. Now, this being my focus from now forwards, it's going to take me into the next month. So until next month, I will see you all very soon, and I'm leaving you with some parting wisdom.
Happiness is a chemical reaction. If you're pursuing a chemical reaction, then it's always going to be fleeting. I'm pursuing experiencing life and pursuing truth.